Captain on the bridge.
Alright, captains, we are back on the bridge, and today, yes, we will be on the Hysperian Intel Battlecruiser. This year's, as of this video, 2023 award for the 2023 summer events. Yes, captains, but before we get into this video, do us a huge favor, hit that like button. Also, if you're new here, welcome. Consider subscribing here to our YouTube bridge. We're always on the lookout for like-minded captains where we can share our love, our passion for Star Trek Online, but also things Star Trek. Now, that said, here we go. Yes, captains, I am not gonna lie, this ship has been oodles of fun. But what we're gonna do is go over the build, the weapons, space set, consoles, stations, traits, DOFs, and then take it into a Cure Advance, but also show how this did in ISE, which actually one of my fellow captains parsed, and color me surprised on how this did in that, because this was a non-supported run. But anyways, we'll get to that in a bit. But yes, here it is. Now, this ship was of course seen in lower decks, and it was an odd ship, I will not lie. I thought this ship was going to be some sort of R&D promotion lockbox or something like that, and lo and behold, it was the event reward for this summer's event. So I was actually surprised and happy, because a lot of captains at least can have a chance to have a ship from lower decks, which of course, captains, you know, is one of our favorite Star Trek series. So an interesting looking ship, I'm not gonna lie. It does have this cool little glow on it that Thomas did try to show off there, and you can kind of see the little shine there, and it translated well into game, I think, in my opinion. But let's go over the build here quickly. So I named it the HRN Purunga. Captains, if you get that reference, comment below and you'll know why I named it that. But again, it's the Hysperian Intel Battlecruiser. So this build, first and foremost, is for fun. Captains, this is how we play. This is what keeps us engaged in Star Trek Online, is doing builds like this for fun. So keep that in mind. And this is only for our nightly PPs, but we base this whole thing on the actual console that came with the ship, which is this, the Dragon's Blood Flame Reactor. So when we get to the console, we'll go over that more in detail, but let's go over the weapons first. And this is what we decided to do. Now, I know this ship came with some disruptors that were, of course, upgradable, but they were nothing in terms of different from any other disruptor, or at least the base disruptor. The icon looked cool, but there was no actual different proc, no different visual. So I decided to go against this. And to keep with the fire theme, I wanted to keep with the orange. So of course, captains, I have a bunch of phasers, so we used our phasers. That was the thought behind this. So first two here, we got the Agony Phaser Dual Beam Banks, which of course we just got for free from events that we did a couple years ago. Of course, we rolled to crit DM damage 4. 2 Agony Beam Phaser Arrays there. Again, crit DM damage 4. And to keep with the sort of fire theme, we went with the Agony Phaser Energy Torpedo Launcher, because they just look like fireballs. Yes, that's why we used them. And of course, we also got this from an event, and we haven't used this a lot, so why not? We'll use it now. Space set. We got the Elite Fleet Intervention Protomatter Deflector from your fleet colony. The Prevailing Innovative Impulse Engines. This is from your competition rep. Of course, the Mycelial Harmonic Matter Antimatter Core, paired with the Tilly's Review Pending Modified Shield, both from the Discovery rep. Of course, a two-piece there gives 120% hull regen. Can't complain about that. And in aft weapons here, we have the Omnidirectional Phaser Beam Array. This I just got from the exchange a long time ago. Again, we rolled crit DM damage 3. The Trilithium Enhanced Omnidirectional Phaser Beam, which is from the featured episode Nexus. And to round it off here, we have the Agony Phaser Beam Array. Again, we rolled to crit DM damage 4. Devices, this is what we got. Advanced battery energy amplifier for its plus 20% bonus energy weapon damage for 20 seconds, so it's going to help our phasers. And of course, also give us plus 30 Starship Shield Pen for 20 seconds. The Kobayashi Maru Transponder for its buck goodness, and the Temporal Negotiator to help our cooldowns. And of course, here we go to the consoles again. The Dragon's Blood Flame Reactor. This has been such a hilarious console to use. You can even use it in social zones. And this does actually scale with bigger ships. So the bigger the ship, the bigger the spitting out of fire. So what does it do? So plus 20% bonus disruptor, fire, cold, electrical, radiation, and psionic damage, plus 10 current and 5 max engine power. So what does it do? Breath of the Dragon, a conical fire damage each second, 10,487 fire damage each second for 10 seconds to up to 5 foes within 50 degrees, 5 click range. So we have to actually make sure we're within that 5 clicks. Of course, the damage scales with engine power, so the higher engine power, the better. Applies a stacking 3 engine power drain per second, but does not cancel at low engine power. If current engine power exceeds 25, recover 1.1% based on engine power of recharge per second. So this started all of this. And that's kind of what we do. We like to have themes with our build sometimes, even though it's simple themes. This has just been absolutely fun, but we'll keep going here. Next up here is the Transmorphic Containment Console. This we got from the Halloween event there. I thought it last year, 2 years ago. Haven't really used it, but we are going to be using it here. So it's 21.4 Starship Control Expertise, plus 10% flight turn rate, plus 7 aux power setting. But this is why we're using it. So the cone AoE hold plus fire dot. So hold for 11.9 seconds, 839.5 fire damage per second when held. So why not? Keeping with the fire theme. Now, we're going to use the Graviton Displacer. This, I believe, comes from the Shran, from the C-Store. If not, just correct me below, cap in the description, or in the comments, I should say. So plus 17.1 Starship Hull Pen, plus 17.1 Starship Tactical Readiness. So what does it do? It pulls foes in front of you, which is going to help us get the targets in front of us so we can breathe fire on them. For 10 seconds, foes within 6 clicks are pulled in front of you. Placate targets for 9.9 seconds to self. Flight turn rate set to 10. Light speed set to 75 and 529.9 kinetic damage per second. Next up, we're going to go use the Portal of the Damned. So these next 4 consoles are from past winter event ships, like the Fikiri, Barjai, the Store, the Farang, and the Goktad Carrier. So first one up is the Portal of the Damned, plus 28.5 armor pen, weapons versus foes affected by a dot, plus 28.5 Starship Exotic Particle Generator, Portal of the Damned, explosive fire hazard, summon lost souls. Targeting arc is 135 degrees. Open a portal for 30 seconds that spawns the lost souls and deals, yes, fire damage. On initial activation, 2,602.1 fire damage in a 5-click radius. Each second, minus 50 accuracy rating and 1,164.3 fire damage in a 2.5 click radius. Lingers for 6 seconds after leaving the radius. Each second creates a lost soul that lasts for 30 seconds and deals 2,870.3 physical damage, ignore shield, to a random nearby foe up twice per second, because why not? Max 12 souls. Now, the Portal of the Damned console comes from the Barjai Interceptor, which was 2022's winter ship reward. Next up, we have the Chains of Fire. So 28.5% fire damage, 25 Starship Impulse Expertise, 25 Starship Control Expertise there. Chains of Fire, pull and damage nearby foes to 6 nearby foes, 13,423 fire damage. Ignore shields for 10 seconds, pulls affected foes towards you. 671.2 fire damage. Ignore shield 2 per second. Now we have sort of a thought process of using this as well, but that's going to get on later into the build. So the chains of fire, and I'm just going off screen here to look at our cheat sheet here. The chains of fire is from the Fakir Store warship, which was 2018's Winter Wonderland event ship prize. Next up is the Fiery Charge. 8.6% flight speed, 17.1% fire damage. So again, giving us some more fire damage. Holds and impales foe, 135 target arc. This is a hit miss, but we're using it because. On impact to foes in forward arc, 9,396.3 fire damage, 2,235.3 fire damage every 1 second for 10 seconds. Now, the Fiery Charge console itself comes from the Fakir Goktad carrier, which was from 2020's Winter Wonderland event prize. Next up, the Open the Maw of Grethor, 17.1% fire damage. So anything that can squeeze out some fire damage, we're using. 2.9 auxiliary power setting, 17.1 starship hull capacity. Of course, it increases starship maximum hit points. Into the Maw. Massive fire damage and summon souls. So launches a fiery maw in front of you to foes within 3 clicks while traveling. 28,145.3 fire damage. Summons 12 lost souls of Grethor for 30 seconds. So Open the Maw of Grethor. That comes from the Fakir Farang Dreadnought carrier from 2019. Again, Winter Wonderland event prize there. And then, of course, next up here, kind of rounding off the whole fire stuff here is the Fakiri Torment Engine. 39.4% increased non-hazard damage over time. 39.4% increased fire. Yes, radiation, plasma, and physical damage. Dealing non-hazard dot damage has a 10% chance to trigger 2,327.1 fire damage per sec for 5 seconds, and of course ignores shields. Now this comes from a featured episode, Leap of Faith, as a reward. So you can get this for free. Nothing wrong with free. So there is that. And rounding off, we're just going to use these ones for performance to help us a little bit here. So the Domino, of course, from the Bajoran Interceptor. We got this from an event prize long ago, but you can get this as your epic tier from the Phoenix prize pack. So it's going to help our phasers though. Plus 15% phaser damage, plus 20 AC rating. And of course, while you click it, weapon damage plus haste extended by kills. So for 10 seconds, 25% fire cycle haste for energy weapons, 25% bonus all damage, hopefully helping our fire out a little bit, plus 25% recharge speed for bridge officer abilities, plus 100% recharge speed for torpedo weapons. But within this duration, if you defeat a foe, plus 2 seconds duration to all effects. Can occur up to 10 times. So next up, the dynamic power distributor module comes from your Atlas, aka Prototype Dreadnought, which you can get from your event prize campaign. So 11.3 all damage resistance rating, so it's helping a little bit on defense. We're going to need a little bit of that. 90% directed energy damage. Of course, when you click it, bonus damage, resistance, and then hull regen. So for 20 seconds, plus 40% bonus damage while our hull's above 80%. Plus 100 bonus damage resistance rating, plus 500% hull regen. And lastly, the Emulating Phaser Lance, which is from the Deimos Pilot Destroyer. Again, a ship you can get as your event prize. Helping our phasers a little bit, 15.8% phaser damage, 43.8 Starship Shield Pen, and it gives us a fiery looking phaser lance. And yes, captains, I did not T6X because, as you know, we like to just do more with less. But what does that give us for stat-wise? We have crit chance of 33.7% and crit severity of 167%. Of course, we have our Pendevers helping us. I do have them ranked to 600. I could go to 750, but I choose not to because we were doing fine before they raised it, and we're still doing fine now. So there is that. Next up, we go to the skills. Captains, I have not changed this, and I don't plan on changing this. So if you want to pause this as we scroll down, feel free to do so. But we have 8 spent in engineering, 10 spent in Psi, and 28 spent in tactical. For specialization, we have Intel primary and temporal secondary. Traits is what we got going on. A good day to die. Adaptive offense. Self-modulating fire. Beam barrage. Fragment of AI tech. Superior beam training. Unconventional systems. Terran targeting systems. Intelligence agent attaché. And the Boimler effect. Because we just love having Boimler on the bridge. Starship traits, so we have 5 to only work with here. This is what we used. Emergency weapon cycle. Universal designs. Entwined techno matrices. And a trait that we haven't used a lot of, but we're going to use here. What is it? The Maw of Grethor. While at full throttle, to foes behind you, 9,396.3 fire damage, 2,013.5 fire damage every 1 second for 10 seconds. This comes off one of those ships, the event ships. But why are we using this? Well, we want to use it in conjunction with this, the change of fire. So it pulls them towards you, but if you're flying, it actually drags them behind you. So at full impulse, we are going to fart fire in the Borg's face. And did I mention we're going to have a Borg barbecue? Yes, we are going to have a Borg barbecue. So this is going to help with that a little. It doesn't work all the time, but for the sake of just using as much fire stuff we can, that's why we're using it. So there is that. And of course, we're going to be using the trait that comes with the ship, the 5 magics. So damage from the 5 magics provides bonuses when dealing damage with any of the 5 magics. So fire, cold, electrical, radiation, and psionic. Apply the following for 15 seconds. Plus 5 current engine power per second. 30.13 bonus damage to 5 magics and disruptor. 15% plus 0.15% per engine power. So yes, this is going to help us boost our fire damage as much as possible. So something fun. Now, our space rep is what we decided to use and keep with the precision. Advanced targeting systems. Omega kinetic shearing. So of course deals 12.5% to your outgoing damage as a dot. So kind of still keeping with the burning fire theme. We're going to use the torpedo pre-fire sequence still for bonus torpedo damage, because we have that one lonely agony torpedo. Hopefully it helps it, but whatever. Tyler's duality. Of course, it's giving us a 4.5% crit chance because it's based off of our hull. And a max of 7.5%. And then active space reputation. Nothing too different. Anti-time entanglement singularity. Biomedical shield generator. Force challenge. Tethered non-baryonic asteroid. And refracting tetryon cascade. Stations. What we got going on. Viral impulse burst. Ionic turbulence. Override subsystem safeties. Chemosite lace weaponry for more fire visuals. Speed spread 2. Fire at will 3. Emergency powered engines. Emit unstable warp bubble. Emergency powered weapons 3. Eject warp plasma, just because we're also going to be farting with them on them with green gas. Jam targeting sensors. Scramble sensors. And tractor beam. Now we go to our dopes. Of course, we have the 2 on ground helping us in space. Neil Falconer, increased damage versus Zeberg. Elder Malikatan, increased damage versus all. And for our space ones, Emergency Khan, we have him helping us recharge our evasive maneuvers when emergency powered engines is activated. We have 3 energy weapons officers. 1 gives us a chance to stack crit chance, while the other 2 gives us a chance to stack crit severity when firing our energy weapons. Because we do have the projectile, we're going to use a projectile weapons officer for a chance to stack crit severity when firing projectiles. And then, yes, Brad Boimler, because we're going to be adding some toxic clouds from torpedoes. So that is the build. Captain, this has just been a fun build to use. And like I said, keep in mind, we only do this for fun. So we're going to take the secure advance, see how it does. And like we've done with our other videos, we're going to go first to the left and aim for the docked Borg cube and see if we can take it down while it's getting the regenerative from the nanite probes below it. And then we'll shoot over to the right side. While we're doing so, take care of the ships heading towards the Kang, because that's our objective, to make sure the Kang survives, doesn't get hit as much. Take out the right side, maybe clean up a little bit, and then head over the center, and then tell the Kang to get out of there, and then finish off the TFO. So let's do that. And after that, of course, we'll give our conclusion, but also show some bonus clips of this doing an ISE, because again, like I said earlier, I was very impressed at how this did in an ISE. We have 6 minutes left. So you know what? Tell you what, we're going to check that video now. Put that on screen here, because again, this will also help us keep in mind how much DPS this is doing. So again, we've been using this. I'm not going to put the volume on here, but this is the ISE that we did with our fellow captains. Shout out to Anthony, Taylor, Morales, Aya, and Zav. Now, the only thing that we had here in terms of helping us with either tank or sort of control was CJ in his Odyssey, which is Zav, and of course Anthony Taylor in his Crossfield Refit. But again, nothing too different than your typical ISE, but this is what we wanted to do here. Of course, try to spit. A lot of things are going on, but we try to always do our fire damage. Now, my max one hit here, I'm being told by Aya, was 29,000 fire damage. That was my most damage that I did on this build, was 29,000. So that is insane. So all those consoles that are giving us plus fire and however we tried to build this, I think worked a little bit. Again, nothing too different here. And this is also CJ's second night, I believe, just trying out his tank, and he did fine. He did really great for his first tank build. But as I can see, we're doing our best to always just use the fire as best as possible. Because again, and we have to get super close, because it does, and there's me using the fiery charger, which is kind of weird. More Borg barbecue. Again, we've just been having so much fun with this over the last week here with it. So that's why we didn't do it right away, because we wanted to see how it does, and it's really just fun. And off to the second transformer, using the graviton's lasers, put everything in front of me, so then I can then use the fire to just spit out and cook some Borg. And a grav well there, I believe that's from Dwayne, Anthony Taylor. We did have to use our DPRM here because our hull, maybe I was just too close to warp core breach, but again, the test of a tank is that no one died. So that is what we have to keep in mind. So this is more of like a channel run as opposed to a supported run. I'm just trying to take care of the gate, and there's the agony torpedoes firing. You can see it kind of like, again, looks like fireball animation to me. Just cooking the board. And this is elite. This is an ISE. I think I activated the Klingon distress beacon there, because why not? Anything to help take out the Berg quicker. Last thing up here, of course, is the TAC cube. There's CJ, our tank, doing a great job. Really, I didn't really feel tickled much. Maybe that one time when I was too close to some explosions. But you can see I'm not the only one using this console. Dwayne was also using it there at the time there. There's my agony Torpedoes firing again. I think I used fiery charge there. At this point, everything was clear, so all we had to do was just concentrate on the Borg cube, and as you can see, we did fine. No one died, so huge shout out to our tank there, CJ. And that is how it did. Now, I'm going to bring attention to how it parsed. So we'll pause this, and we'll just kind of scroll here till we get the parse here. And right there, look at that, Caps. The parse right there, I was super impressed with this. 300K. This is not even tier 6X, and we're doing that well. And of course, the one leading the charge there was Aya there in his Prometheus, and that was his cannon scatter volley build. So, can this do elite? Oh yeah. And again, not a real support run, just random kind of ships that we were using, but this did 300K, and I'm super impressed by that. So there's that. We'll put this off screen, head back here. So what we're going to do, again, we're going to go to the cure found. We have about a minute here. But again, we've been using this also. We'll show this off here while we have that 1 minute. On the bridge here on YouTube. And it's been just such a blast. The first night we were using this, we had a bunch of captains just using this fire console here. And then everyone else just kind of jumped in on their ship. I think we almost had a full fleet of Hysperian, but again, people have been having fun. I think this is one of the funnest ship rewards that we've had in a long time. And for the most part, you know, I am grateful that the devs decided to just give us this ship for free, essentially just by doing the event. And the summer event is really one of the easier events because of how fast you can do that. You know, we'll quickly show this off here, because I think it was this one here. Again, we're just turning the volume off there. Of course, just wait for the ad to go through. But again, I think we were 2 ads. Dear Lord. But this is how we try to get help too as well from the ads. But anyways, we just had a bunch of our captains here just kind of show up in their ships parked beside us while we were sort of messing around with the build and stuff here. But as you can see, our nights have been just filled with pews with this ship. It's been just fun. Trying to see there we go. So again, we had like 4 or 5 of these things here. So anyways, we'll take that off screen. Now we'll do our pure advance, see how this does. This should be up here in a sec. Here, there you go. Let's take them to advance. And again, the plan is left, right, center, trying to protect the Kang. So here we go. Thought we'd show off that while the cooldown was in effect, because we did a test run before the video. Here we go. Let's make some Borg barbecue, shall we? Kobayashi Maru here. Do our best here to get rid of the cube as fast as possible so we can rip over to the right side. That there. Get everything going there. There goes the cube. And we're going to go back for that later if we have to. Take care of these ones. These are going over to the Kang. Taking care of them, no problem. If we have to double back there, we will. Where are you going? Nope, 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 nope. Get away from her. You know what? Let's use the chains. Let's use the chains. Drag everyone behind me. Let's breathe fire on these Borg. Yes! It's so hilarious. Okay, we got one more Borg Raptor there. We'll take care of that now. Or we take care of the right side. The orange phasers still kind of help with the theme here. Kang's still doing good. Get rid of that. There we go. Power there. Let's go take care of this side. Everyone in front of us. Care of the Borg cube. Should be able to still take that down as best as we can here. If not, another roasted barbecue Borg coming up. Okay, still doing good. Take care of this Raptor. Trying to save my buff there for the other center cube. Fireballs. Come here. Take care of these Negvar. Breathe fire on the Borg. Oh, too close there, but that's okay. I get a little far there from the cube there. We're still doing fine. Kang's still at 100%. Okay, Spear here is going to be dragged over here with us. Go towards the cube here. Buff up. Barbecue time! Borg. And look at that, it took care of all the pros below it. That's awesome. I have been laughing so much here the past week just using this ship because it's just been so fun. There you go. Tell the Kang to get out of here, and then we'll finish this off. See, it's doing fine. It's doing just absolutely fine, in my opinion. Buff up here now. And do that. Fiery charge. Bam! Just cuz. Take care of the assimilated carrier just like that. Bam! Ha! Oh! And there's some fire fart going on there. Now that only goes on when you're in red alert at full impulse. Let's go over here quickly. Take a shelfie. Captains, if you don't know what that is, those are ship stealthies. But this also, we get to show off the glow that Thomas was talking about here. And you can really see it here on this map, one of my favorite. So anyways, let's get out of here. And then give our conclusions. But captains, I think you already know. I think you already know what we're going to say. But it has just been a trip for the past week here on the ship. And it's just been so fun. And I think I've gotten a lot of usage out of the ship. And we were even able to do a Corvez. We were actually able to finish a Corvez. I think that team configuration had 2 of the Hysperian Intel Battlecruisers. We had a Goktide carrier, we had a T6 Voyager, and a Vikrid ship. And yes, we were extremely lucky. We didn't get the bugged Teray phase. We did get the Benthen, but we were actually able to finish that. And then I think at the last phase, only 2 missiles got to the star there. But other than that, we finished it. So again, captains, I say this always, please keep in mind, I only do these builds for fun, but that's what these builds do for me. They keep me having fun here in Star Trek Online. And like I said, pun intended, keeps me engaged here, especially when we're doing our nightly PPUs here with our fellow captains. So that is the build, captains. And again, if you can't tell, I love this ship. Highly recommend, if you haven't given it a shot, to give it a shot, especially when it comes to spitting out fire. So do us a favor, hit that like button. Also, again, comment below, let us know what you think of the ship, and of course subscribe here to the User Bridge. And of course, we will leave it on this note.
Live long and prosper.